Now let's move on to probably the most interesting subject for you, Anthony. You.
Yes.
Where do you see the immediate future? We saw Tunde came on the show a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, whose company I really enjoyed and thought was interesting. He had you fighting cruiserweights next. Where does it... Well, we can hear from Tunde. Let's hear from Tunde before I start paraphrasing what he said.
Anthony Yarde is ready to fight Joshua Buatsi. Anthony Yarde is ready to fight Chris Billam-Smith. Anthony Yarde is ready to fight Kovalev if he can find himself back in the mix. Anthony Yarde is ready to fight Dimitri Bivol. Anthony Yarde is ready to fight Beterbiev too. Anthony Yarde is all about fighting.
Okay.
And up until the other week, any chains that were there have now disappeared.
Great. So Yarde's free. I'll tell Buatsi.
And you can tell Frank, you can tell Eddie, you can tell Ben Shalom, you can tell the man himself, Turki Al-Sheikh. There is nothing stopping AY from fighting. Nothing. And you're not hearing it from a third party or a cousin or a friend that's a friend of a next friend. You're hearing it from the manager. You're hearing it from the trainer, Tunde Ajay. I'm telling you,
I want AY
we're ready to fight.
Yeah. Facts.
Very good. He talked about the cruiserweight division. Is that realistic for you? Do you want to go in there?
Absolutely. For me, it's like, what's an exciting fight?
Right.
You know, what would entertain the fans? My tune has not changed since I turned professional. Is that an entertaining fight? Let's make it happen.
But to be clear, your future lies at light heavyweight, but you would step up to cruiserweight if that opportunity rose.
100%. If it's an opportunity that makes sense. For me, I've always said this as well. If it's a fight that makes sense for me, and not only that, we're seeing it with me now. I want these fights that make sense for me. I want the Buatsi fights. I would have wanted to be in there with Callum Smith. We tried to get that fight. He said he was on his honeymoon.
Right.
So
what do you take
look
from
at
that
the next thing.
So what are you taking from that then? If you're saying that it's not you, it's everybody else, right? Because inactivity is a challenge for you, Anthony, because you've had one big fight since beating Lyndon Arthur, which is Beterbiev. You weren't hugely impressive in your last fight.
I was awful.
Which, OK, fine.
To my standard,
I'll let
and
you
in
say
my
that.
opinion.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But why are these fights not happening then? If you're saying that Callum Smith tells you he's on a honeymoon, because I spoke to Callum Smith in February, March of this year, and are you going to fight this year? Yeah, I'm going to fight. And I mentioned your name, and he was like, yeah, I'd happy going with him. So he doesn't want to go in with you, and the Smiths don't really duck anybody. Buatsi, apparently, according to you, doesn't want to go in with him. And I spent the entire summer listening to Ben Shalom wanting this fight for you.
And Ben Shalom
wants it. Yeah. But being told by Ben Shalom that Buatsi wants this fight, he don't want Willie Hutchinson. He wants you because contractually he has to have you as a result of his relationship with Boxer.
So then why
is it breaking down?
Okay, these are the questions next.
Yeah.
If he wants me, why did he fight? What's the guy's name? Willie Hutchinson. Because
but you know why.
What? Why?
You know why, and I know why.
Go on, why?
Because of the situation with Queensberry.
No, no, please. I don't want to put things out there that's not true. This is not the case. I was saying I'm a free agent, which I've shown I was. Hold on.
Understood.
I was a free agent, and I still am a free agent. I want to work with Frank in the future.
Yeah.
There's no bad relationship there. I want to work with him. I'm open to working with Eddie, Ben Shalom, and all these kind of people. Frank Warren has been like an uncle to me.
Yeah.
There's a love relationship there.
Yeah.
So there's no bad blood. It's just that I want to have these big fights. So you're saying about Buatsi wanting to fight me. Why did he not fight me then?
But without wanting to be hugely indiscreet.
Yes.
Right. I know exactly how the Hutchinson fight was made. And at the centre of it was the challenge that Ben had with your contractual status and and Queensberry asserting their position, threatening to throw legal ramifications around. And the perspective was, let's see if the situation can resolve itself between Tunde, Anthony and Queensberry. And we'll take the Hutchinson as an interim to fulfil an obligation under the Boxer contract to Buatsi. But my understanding of it was the perception was that Buatsi wants to fight you. But the other side of it is that you guys have a distinct valuation of what you will and won't fight for.
Okay, now you've made a point. Now I want to make a point that
Please do.
counteracts it. So why did my last fight happen with Ben Shalom? There we go. This is what I'm saying. There's all these. This was a contractual dispute or whatever. My last fight was under Ben Shalom on Sky
My
Sports.
understanding from that would be because it was setting up the fight, giving you a bit of
All right,
activity.
cool, but
That's setting up a fight. with Buatsi.
Let's not get away from this pot, this cooking pot.
Yeah.
If the reasons you gave me was about contractual disputes and that Ben Shalom didn't believe all these kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So why did I have a fight with Ben Shalom? Because I was out of contract. Yeah. So I don't want people to start listening to all these excuses and things that are not true. I said it publicly. I'm out of contract.
Yeah, I heard
I'm
you.
a free agent.
Yeah.
I'm open to working with friends. Everyone's saying I'm like, oh no, forget this and forget that.
Yeah.
There's been no bad blood.
It was about matching rights, wasn't it? The argument was over matching rights.
Did you have that fight because that pushes you closer even to Buatsi because he's with
activity.
Right.
Everyone's seeing what's happening now. And again, I'm in a situation now where people say, I want to fight Anthony, which, I've said it openly, different promoters can approach me or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But then these fights are not happening. They're taking other routes. I've spoken to Buatsi personally. So as Tunde said, you're the friend of the friend. You're a third party. You're hearing what other people are saying. And for me, the fight, there's no reason on my side.
Yeah.
This fight cannot be made. I'm open to fighting Americans, Andre Derrell called me out. I said, yeah, okay, cool. He's a big name in America. I'm open to fighting anybody. Lyndon Arthur free.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
There you go.
That's a thing. He can come out of retirement or whatever he's doing. I can have a tune-up fight against someone like Lyndon Arthur.
Yeah.
While I'm waiting for this Buatsi, I'm not going to wait for these guys. You just said it yourself. Inactivity has been my thing. I've been inactive. I'm the best light heavyweight, in my opinion, on the planet. But I've been inactive. So it's going to show in certain situations, like the last fight. It's going to show when I'm in the 7th round against Beterbiev. It's because I've been inactive.
Yeah. I mean, I admire the confidence. I mean, the evidence
Absolutely.
is going to perhaps show something different. But you want to be captain of your own ship.
Yes.
I mean, again, I don't want to make the point too bluntly. I spent a lot of time with George and I spent a lot of time with Ben on it, so I'm very versed in this situation. So I'm not sitting there with a friend of a friend.
Yes.
I'm the one that negotiated the Hutchinson deal with George.
Yes.
So I know what was involved in that discussion. But you want to be captain of your own ship. You want to control your own destiny. It's something to be admired for that.
I want to be involved.
And
not in full control.
And that's right as well.
Yes.
Absolutely. But you want to do it on a fight-by-fight basis. Yes, no?
I wouldn't say 100% yes, but, preferably for me. That's what I said. I want to be involved. I wouldn't say I want full control at this stage.
All right. Let's not argue about semantics or debate
Yes.
the vagaries and peculiarities of how much control you do or don't have. Let's look at what 2025 could and should look like if Anthony Yarde has his way and gets his opportunities. So why don't you lay out what you expect to be able to achieve or what you would anticipate there's a distinct possibility you can achieve in terms of who you fight and where you go?
Okay, so I wouldn't say options, but what would make sense for me? I want to be in big entertaining fights. I want fights that the fans actually want to see. I'm sick and tired of having these fights where people are questioning or saying, why is he fighting him or whatever. Any of the domestic light heavyweights, that's Lyndon Arthur, that's obviously Smith and
You've done
Buatsi.
that. You bashed
It's
him up,
true.
you knocked him out, cleaned him out.
It's true. It's true, but then give me another option. I'm not going to sit there and wait.
So what you're saying is...
And that's a fight
True.
that still sells.
True, but do you think...
No.
Anthony, I like watching him, so I'm inclined to watch him in whichever fight he goes into. But I've seen him deal with Lyndon Arthur. So I'm looking at it going, well, if I'm not seeing Anthony Yarde in with Josh Buatsi, or I'm not seeing him in with maybe Callum Smith again, depends upon the outcome of this particular fight, then where is
Anthony? Where Ant's going is you've got Joshua Buatsi fighting Callum Smith, so that fight is happening.
Yes.
He can't sit around and wait for the winner because he's going to be inactive for too long again.
Yes,
He needs to be active and have a fight, and that's what he's saying. Give me someone that is going to be competitive.
Yeah.
Lyndon Arthur, go over that again.
I don't like him.
And that will set up effectively the winner. That gives him the opportunity to stay active and get the winner of Callum Smith and Joshua Buatsi. Am I closer?
Yeah,
That's
100%.
it.
I want to be active. Like, I had 12 amateur fights. That's no experience. I've fought 2 world title fights with no experience after 4 years with 12 amateur fights. So I've shown my character. I want to fight these guys. I don't care about all this, you ain't got enough experience, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. I don't care. I want to fight.
Yeah, I don't think anyone throws that argument towards you, do they? I mean, I think the first fight against Kovalev, people looked at it as being quite early in your career.
Very early.
And you had an opportunity there.
Yes.
Because you had him going.
Yes.
And the Beterbiev fight, I think they're just looking at Beterbiev and saying, look at the level of this fighter.
Yes.
Look how brilliantly Anthony performed in it. But they were more looking at the level of Beterbiev rather than saying anything negative about you.
Yes.
And it brings, every time I think of you and speak of you, I always think of you and speak of you in the most glowing terms because I think you're entertaining to watch and engaging. And I think I said that to you a few years ago when I saw you at one of the ringsides. So when you look at 2025, how many times do you think you want to fight and how many times are you likely to fight?
For me, the stage I'm at in my career, a perfect year for me would be fighting 3 times. All big fights. All fights that, you know, are selling points, fights that people want to see. Because it's right now, the time in boxing is sensational. Sensational.
Listen, ideal scenario for you is to wait for the winner of that one. Whilst waiting for that one, have a fight, take the winner of that one, the winner of that then gets a world title shot. That would be the ideal. There you go.
But then who do I fight while I wait?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You
Dan
need someone
Aziz.
that's going to be competitive.
Dan Aziz?
Dan Aziz, but come on, he's just come off 2 losses.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think and I understand your point, but I think Lyndon Arthur is still, on paper, a more entertaining build-up and fight.
Probably.
Yeah.
Whilst I've got you here, before I let you go, I've got to ask you this. Where are you on the Ben Whittaker debate?
Oh, man.
About what he is, about what happened in the last fight, and where you think he's going?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is I really love watching him. I think he's entertaining. I hope he can bounce back from this because I do think it was a cop-out. This is just my opinion. Everyone's got their opinion. I don't think he hurt his ankle. Leaving in a wheelchair was crazy. But he is a very entertaining talent, and I think there's a reason he's been quiet because he's seen it and been like, damn, like it's obvious nothing happened to my ankle. If it did, then I'm sorry, but it don't look anything happened to his ankle. I thought the fight was turning. He got hit with a couple body shots he didn't like. We spoke about this earlier, but when a fight is in a new situation and then they ask him some questions.
And listen, when you're in that situation, you've got to ask yourself those questions and you're in that moment, you've got 100th of a second to make that decision.
Yes.
Sometimes you make the wrong decision.
Can I say something as well? You see when we was talking about Fury and we were saying when he seems like he's messing around and then he doesn't. So this fight with Ben Whittaker, it was the first fight I haven't really seen him showboating. He looked awful.
Yeah, it didn't work for him.
Exactly. So
Didn't
that's
work
the same thing with Fury. It's like he might need that showboating. He needs to have fun. Because if he don't, he has a lackluster performance like he did. And I feel like God was in his corner that day. That gave him a little way out where he can come back.
Is the pursuance of a world title shot and winning a world title still the major driver for you?
Definitely. My career has been, because at the end of the day, it's like, you look back, when I'm your age,
Don't be bloody cheeky.
No, I'm saying when I'm your age.
You'll be as wise as me.
When I'm not as wise and as senior as you, Or you. You want to look back and be like, yeah. Like, so far, I'm saying because of, my courage and, the account I've had of myself. But again, when I'm...
You're at the stage of your career right now where it has to count, and you're at that stage.
By the way, that fucking burns, that. Because I always used to be the youngest person in the room. When I was young and buying football club at 31, I was the youngest person. Now I'm pointed at as the old season, and that's a bit disconcerting.
No, I just say you're old. I just say when I'm your age.
When you're my age,
senior.
You sort of did say it, but didn't say it.
Do you, without wanting you to commit to anything or put yourself in the way of it, do you look at having a much longer career? Because I was talking to Nigel Benn about what he wants for Conor.
Yes.
And put aside the controversy, but he wants him in and out of the fight game. Okay. He wants him to do. Nigel was in there for 9 years.
Yes.
Won his world titles, finished his career, blasted everybody out, had his wins and had his losses, and went out in a puff of smoke with great achievements. He doesn't want Conor in the fight game for long. Do you look at it without saying I'm planning my exit? Is your ambition to be in and out of this game very quickly, achieve things, make a decent amount of money and move on with your life? Or do you fight because you love fighting and you want to be in the fight game?
I love fighting. It keeps me active. It keeps me focused on something. And I love being in the gym. My love for boxing is is beyond imagination because it keeps me learning, keeps me progressing in life. But it is a challenging sport. You know, it's very dangerous. It can be depressing at times if you give in to what, you know, the public are saying and, you know, you're not getting support and all these kind of things. But I have got love for the sport, but I don't want to be in the sport for too long. You know, you see your...
What are you, 33 now?
I'm 33 now.
Yeah.
But again, I haven't had a long career. I haven't had a hard career.
You make your workplace a very happy place.
Yes.
I've seen you in the gym with Sunday and all that family experience you got.
I'm loving it.
And you're dancing, you're doing whatever. So that gives you longevity.
It does.
Because a fighter, when he gets to that certain stage of his career, you know, and you've been around now for a while as well, and you've had those opportunities and you can get frustrated maybe like now and go like, lose heart in the game a little bit, and you go, so it's very hard to stay motivated. How do you stay motivated at that point? That must be through the gym and that family, you know, 100%. That family environment you got.
To be honest with you, how I stay motivated is because it's always been about me. In my head, it's always been, you know, can I be better? You know, can I be a better version of myself? Can I? And I've always said this in my career. If you look back and see interviews, I've said, I don't care about him or what he's doing. I don't attach my name to nobody because it's not about anybody else. It's my career. You know, I'm not waiting for this person. I just said it just now again. Yeah. I'm not waiting for this person because my career is not determined by somebody else. It's always been within me, like me versus me. And it's like, I'm trying to elevate myself. I'm not trying to use anybody else or elevate anybody else. I'm trying to, it's always to do with me. So I feel like I've just got an obsession with trying to progress myself.
I'm just trying to think what I was doing when I was 33. Oh, I know. Making 100 million quid and owning a Premier League football club.
Didn't you lose it by then?
Not when I was 33.
I don't know. I don't know how quick it happened.
Thanks very much.
Oh, right, okay.
Do you look at this current crop of the light heavyweights and think to yourself, when they shuffle off, Beterbiev and Bivol,
yes,
that gives me an opportunity to have my time. That's the reason why I ask you about Whittaker, is because he's coming up next. And it's not because I want you to shine a light on Ben Whittaker, because it's about you. I'm just curious to see how you view the landscape.
How I view the landscape is we don't know the future. And that's just me being 100% honest with you. We've seen it time and time again with names being thrown out there or different up-and-comers, and then they're gone. Or they rise. My eyes right now, I'll be honest with you, has always been at the top. I want to fight Beterbiev again. That's my ideal fight, you know. Other than the Buatsi and, you know, all these other big names that people are asking for, I want to fight Beterbiev again. That's just me, because I was, in my head, I was so close. Adjustments, and every time I've had the kind of opportunities, you've seen me get a bit better. Well,
you're at that stage of your career, aren't you? Go like Kovalev was what, 2019? 2019. You go back to Kovalev, then you wait until all those years until you get the Beterbiev fight, and you see the marked improvements, and you're still 33 and fresh because of that inactivity. And so your burning desire is at the very, very top because you've competed there.
I've competed there, and I think, from what I've seen, people age with activity. You know, so
it depends what activity they have.
Exactly.
If they're getting into wars.
Exactly.
If you're Derek Chisora, you thrive and survive in that environment.
And that's how they age. So you've seen other fighters, you know, haven't really been hit that much. Luckily, haven't hurt their hands, had any broken bones or anything like that. You see their career, they've maintained a certain level, but it's when they've taken so many punches, or been in so many hard fights, you start seeing them. You know, their punch resistance goes. We were talking about Tyson Fury. Has his punch resistance gone after them 3 fights with Wilder?
Well, look, we saw what it done to Wilder. That's the point, isn't it?
Exactly.
It had a massive effect on Wilder.
Yes.
That is for sure.